year, he joined, he started his service as assistant agriculture engineering, then served as assistant professor, associate professor, professor and head around 16 year in Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit, Rahuri, and then he was joined as a professor and head, and then dean, Faculty of Agriculture Engineering at by BSKKV Dapoli around 11 years. Then sir has a very good international exposure, and he was visited to number of the countries like Canada, USA, France, Singapore, Ethiopia, Yemen, Bangladesh, and in Bangladesh he is an international consultant, and in Ethiopia is also he was a visiting professor. Then sir received so many awards by Ethiopian government, by Bangladesh government. Sir received best research paper awards in a different forum. Then sir is a national fellow of Institute of Engineers, Indian Society of Agriculture Engineers. Sir received a best teacher award by Dr. Balasaheb Sawant Kokon Krishi Vidyapit Dapoli. Then best teacher award by Agrocare Krishi Manch Nasik. Sir is a PRT member of ICR New Delhi, nominated member. Then Sir is also advisory member of a number of the institute. In that Siphet Ludhiana, then KK College Nasik, then BSKKV Dapoli, Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri. Then sir was a chairman and member of a number of the educational and research bodies governed by Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, Dr. Balasaheb Sawant Kokon Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri as a board of studies, then research council, then chairman of different selection committees at BSKKV Dapoli, then Akola, then Marathwada Agriculture University Parbhani, and also Mahatma Phule Krishi Vidyapit Rahuri, and in some of the national institute also he was an expert member in that selection committee. Then sir is a live member of several organization committee, more than 15 organizational committees. Sir is a live member in that American Oil Chemist Society USA, American Society of Agriculture Engineers, some of the Canadian societies, and the sir developed so many technologies in that baking technology process, extrusion technology process, dehulling technology for small grain, that is millet grains, then protocol of kokum, korunda, jamun, jackfruit, that processing protocol, then steaming technology of cashew processing. Sir developed so many devices in that kokum liquid concentration unit, then jackfruit cutter, then kokum seed dehusker, coconut waste fire dryer, then coconut nut and nutmeg dryer. Then sir was also worked in different locations of India, in that National Seed Corporation, Agra, and during that he was developed a large capacity seed processing plant and seed processing plant at College of Agriculture, Dhule. Sir also published so many research paper, then popular article, book chapter in national and international journal. The number is more than 200. Then also sir published a popular article more than 100, TV and radio talk is more than 20. And then sir has very good academic experience. Sir taught UG, PG, PhD student and guided PG 11 student and PhD 6 student. And for information of a participant, for designing of this course, the lot of efforts is given by sir this course, and whatever is the that plan of this lecture that is given by Dr. N.J. Thakor sir. He is my guide and first HOD at BSKK Vidapoli. So may I request to Thakor sir, please deliver the lecture. Thakor sir.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Kurt. You have given a very, very broad introduction. Is it my voice is audible to everyone?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Yeah. Okay. I just welcome all the participants for advances in smart food processing technologies organized by my lovely university MPKB Rahuri. This is the second course organized in the area of processing, and I really congratulate this institution to giving so much opportunities, not only to the participants, but also the fellow like us to interact with you all participants. So I really extend my thanks first before starting my presentation to MPKV Rahuri. I welcome you all with a lotus, which is the symbol of Mangalya. So I'm feeling that let this corona go as early as possible and let all those Mangalya days come to our life so soon. Cold chain management of food materials. This is the topic given to me, and I'm trying my level best to give full justice so that all the participants will feel that they got really something about this topic. It is divided into the 5 sections: introduction, cold chain, that is materials and environment, cold chain, its management, cold chain, the scenario and the scope, and we will conclude with my presentation. Before starting, I just want to tell you to make you aware why we shall be very serious. Serious here in the sense not that like get afraid, but serious like we need to be bring awareness for the country, for the food, and for this very world. Data published by the Ministry of Food Processing Industries in the 2016. Yesterday also our both the speakers told about these numbers, that we are losing rupees 92,000 crores every year only because we are losing the material produced by the farmer through its journey until it reaches to the consumer. Budget for agriculture sector in the very 2015-16 was merely 35,984 crores. And see the losses. Now, why I am making to aware about these two numbers, what we lose and what the budget government of India is having. I'm not trying to tell that whether the budget is low. It's not the matter of the budget which is low. It is a matter how much we are losing. So we need to be aware about that. Then for the cold stores from 2007 to 2014, around 2,400 crores were allocated. Now, 2018 and 90, just last year's budget, the figures, production of fruits and vegetables in the country are around 300 million metric tons. Post-harvest losses in the range of 20 to 40% as per the reports. If we assume even 20% of post-harvest losses, the country lose 600 million metric tons of fruits and vegetables. Please remember the number 600 million metric tons, and I have considered only 20% losses, which is quite possible in the handling. Then, if we assume a very low price of rupees 20 per kg, rupees 20 per kg, believe me, if you want to get a cup of tea, you have to spend 10 rupees. So for fruits and vegetables, I am just taking a very, very low price of rupees 20 per kg, and that will be for ton, it will be 20,000 per ton. And for our 60 million metric tons, the cost comes around 1,20,000 crores. Just compare this number with the government number of 92,000 crore. And if we assume the price of 30 rupees kg, just raising by 10 rupees, our loss in the form of worth goes to 1 lakh 80,000 crores. 1 lakh 80,000 crores. So I just choose, I'm trying to focus you that these are not mere numbers. Even if we see them practically, then the things makes us more serious. This is another news in the year 2017. If India cuts post-harvest losses, over 5 crore people could be fed for a year at rupees 50 per day. 5 crore people. That means 50 million, 500 lakh can be fed for a whole 365 days. And this is the news from Financial Express, New Delhi, published in 2017. India is one of the largest producers of over 80% of agricultural products, including cash crops like coffee and cotton. But largely due to storage, logistic, and financing infrastructure inadequacies, harvest and post-harvest losses of major agricultural produce is estimated at rupees 92,651 crore. That was yesterday given by Dr. K.K. Singh. And it is around 13 billion US dollars, according to the Food Processing Ministry data of August 2016. If these were prevented, as I said above, over 5 crore people could be fed for a year at the rate of rupees 50 per day. This is the news given by that Financial Express. I am not telling, I am just sharing. It is reported that only 10 to 11% of fruits and vegetables cultivated in the country use cold storage due to the expensive involved and lack of suitable facilities. Expensive, involved, and lack of suitable facilities. We need to pay attention to this statement because we are going to study about the cold chain. This is the last news I'm trying to share with you to build up my introduction for my topic. And this is the nice study. Rockefeller Foundation is the best foundation of USA, which studied our rice mills. Is it voice is okay?
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah, Rockefeller Foundation is from USA, which also helped India in the 60s to study the rice mills. And they did survey through the Intel cap for the government of India. As per latest estimates by the Associated Chamber of Commerce of India, India loses approximately the same number, INR 926 billion, Indian rupees 926 billion, that means 92,600 crores, on account of post-harvest losses. Crop worth approximately 19.4 million US dollars is wasted in India on a daily basis only due to rejection at the farm gate and delays in the distribution process. From farm gate up to the consumer, we are losing 19.4 million US dollars. Post-harvest losses in India stem from a range of factors, and these factors are including lack of post-harvest infrastructure, limited technical know-how on good agricultural practices, imperfect market knowledge, and inadequate market access. The last one is most important, inadequate market access. Fragmentation of agricultural land holdings, which is very true, and a post-harvest value chain that is riddled with inefficiencies cause post-harvest loss to stack up progressively throughout the value chain. According to the 2014 Global Hunger Index, India ranks 55 among 120 countries, almost halfway, with the highest food insecurity. The high volume of losses, if reduced, the high volume of losses, if reduced, can generate significant value and addresses food insecurity. Only we have to work whatever have been produced by the farmer, whatever have been given by this earth, whatever have been given by the people of this country through our agriculture. Only we have to work on that. And the source is reducing post-harvest losses. As I told, the Rockefeller Foundation did this study through this Intel cap, and the topic of that was reducing post-harvest losses in India, key initiatives and opportunities, a report prepared by Intel cap supported by the Rockefeller Foundation in the year 2016. So friends, we know by this time that there is a huge losses after the crop is harvested and it reaches on our table. And it is our duty as a citizen of this country, because there are so many stomachs going to bed in the night without any food. So if we involve each one of us, including myself, we can very much solve this problem. Not only solve the problem, whatever the quantity is, for example, 60 million tons, if we can make money from that, we can become a rich, the goal which the country is looking for. So what is the supply chain? A supply chain is the system of organizations, people, activities, information, and resources. Organizations, people, activities, information, and resources involved in moving a product or service from supplier to customer. I told this last time in last course. I was having a topic on supply chain management, and this is the definition, general definition: to supply any kind of material from the source to the consumer, any kind. Just like Amazon, you order something and you get. So any kind, service or material. Now cold chain. The definition of cold chain is a part of that supply chain. Cold chain is a part of that supply chain. Cold chain is a logistic system that provides a series of facilities for maintaining ideal storage conditions for perishables from the point of origin to the point of consumption. Here, the meaning of perishable is not only food material, it could be pharmaceutical, drugs, medicines, anything. The cold chain involves the transportation of temperature sensitive products, transportation of temperature sensitive products along a supply chain through thermal and refrigerated packaging methods, and the logistical planning to protect the integrity of these shipments. I have underlined these two words because somewhere we are lacking in these things, and that's why we have a failure in our uh, cold chain as far as perishable materials are concerned. There are several means in which cold chain products can be transported, including refrigerated trucks and rail cars, refrigerated cargo ships, reefers, as well as by air cargo. The cold chain is thus a science, a technology, and a process. Now we are having a very huge group of participants in our today's presentation, and this group includes all, whether you may be a science student, so you are concerned with science. You may be handling some of the technology for your business, for your experiments, for your research, so you are a technology. And you may be handling any process. So we are part of all these three. And cold chain cold chain does not belongs to one like a process. Maybe any cold chain trader, he may be handling process, but if he is not aware of technology, then there is a failure, there is a lapses, there will be inefficiency. If he doesn't know the science, if there is no involvement of the science, if there is no involvement of the technology, if there is no good coordination between the science, technology, and a process, the success of the cold chain or the efficiency of the cold chain will be very, very far away. It is a science since it requires an understanding of the chemical and biological processes linked with perishability. I'm repeating this sentence because total presentation based on these three. It is a science since it requires an understanding of the chemical and biological processes linked with perishability. It is a technology since it relies on physical means to ensure appropriate temperature conditions along the supply chain. It is a technology since it relies on physical means to ensure appropriate temperature conditions along the supply chain. And it is a process since a series of tasks must be performed to prepare, store, transport, and monitor temperature sensitive product. To prepare, to store, transport, and monitor. All these are the processes, and these processes need monitoring of the temperature sensitive products. So it is a process. Then really we need this cold chain. Do we need it? I think if we want to handle and supply the material which is a environmental sensitive, that is temperature sensitive. And when we consider our food material, now another element is appearing, that is moisture sensitive. Here, when we use the word cold chain, basically it is in regard with the temperature. But when you are handling the biological material, that material itself has some moisture. And based on the moisture, the sensitivity of that material changes. That we are going to see in our next slide, how the role of moisture is also there. So based on the temperature sensitivity of the material and the moisture sensitivity of the material, food materials are classified into three types. And everybody knows the perishable and non-perishable. When we use the word non-perishable, that means it is durable, relatively durable. And in between the two, semi-perishable. In between the two, depending on the sensitivity of the product to moisture and temperature, if it is in between the two, it could be a semi-perishable. Then if we want to know the characteristics of these three, then we will know that how the food can be classified. Please pay attention to this table, because this will tell you so many things, not from the today's presentation point of view, but if you are going to work, many of you may be the students, many of you may be the technologists, many of you may be the farmers, many of you may be the entrepreneurs, whatever you may be. If you pay a little attention to this table, because it is a compilation by Dr. Thakor from so many other things, you may not get this table ready-made anywhere in the Google or anywhere. So moisture content. When we consider it is very low, less than 15%, the crop is durable. If it is very high, more than 50%, the crop is perishable. Moisture loss. In our desirable durable material, this moisture loss is desirable. For example, you harvested a wheat crop or a sorghum crop or a maize crop. The harvesting moisture content may be 20%, and you are reducing the moisture content to the 15, and you want to store into the bags. So your loss of moisture here is desirable. Now look at to the perishable. If we lose the moisture, it becomes undesirable. And you have noticed this many times in your day-to-day life. If you go into the market to buy any of the leafy vegetable, and you will find that the person who is selling it always trying to sprinkle the water on it, because he want to maintain the freshness of that product till he sells it, and that's why it is undesirable. Size, very distinct. If you see all the durable food material, particularly all the grain crops, cereals, pulses, oil seeds, they come under the class durable. The size of these material, individual grain, is less than 1 gram. But look at the perishable. The size of perishable material, right from any your small garlic, 5 gram to 5 kg. 5 gram to 5 kg. You can ask me questions at the end, sir, what kind of this 5 kg material will be? And I will try to answer, because I am keeping this as a question. Then respiration rate. Uh, uh, I want to go back little for the size. Why I want to emphasize you, when you are going to handle the material in cold chain, you need to pay attention to the large, because you are handling the volume, and you will need a certain kind of packaging material or packaging box or packaging container, and probably you may have to keep this factor in your mind, even if it is coming from farm to the pack house or a cold storage. And if you are putting that material into a truck, then depending on the size, depending on the volume, the quantity will be lifted or the shifted. Respiration rate. This is one of the most important factor to decide the material whether it is a durable or perishable. Durable or perishable. Please, I request all the participants, as long as you are listening my presentation, always keep in your mind, in your microprocessor, that we are going, when we say the food material, always keep in your mind, it is a biological material, and it is respiring from day 1 to the day last. It is doing the respiration. It is doing the respiration, and this very respiration decides the fate of that material. If you want to extend the shelf life of that material, you have to keep factor in your mind, is first is respiration, then the others. So in the case of durable, the rate of respiration is a very low, very low. And when the respiration is low, so the generation of heat is also low. Generation of heat is also low. And when the respiration rate is very high, the rate of generation of heat is also very high. I will take a minute here again, because I want to build up and put in your mind such that many of you in your up to 12th standard, you understand that every biological material respires through the respiration. And do you know what is the output of respiration? There are two products which are given during the process of respiration, and these two are, one is the heat is generated, and the other is moisture is added. Moisture is added. So the respiration process increase the moisture and generates the heat. You keep these 2 points in your mind. Now, heat production. If the rate of respiration is very low, the production of heat, the unit is kilojoule per ton per day. That means 1000 kg of material in one day can generate 50 kilojoules of heat if the material is a durable. That is less, the respiration rate is very, very low. But switch on to the perishable. The production of heat is in the range of 5,000 to 70,000. Do you see the numbers? From 50, it has gone to the 5,000, 100 times more. And at what temperature? 20 degrees C. Normally, our room temperature is in between 25 to 30. And the moment you go to the 20 or low, we call it as a low temperature. Between 10 and 20, we call it as a low temperature. And many times, many of you, if you are traveling through the AC train or a AC bus, and fellow, if he sets the temperature around 22, then you are shouting that, okay, you increase little temperature. Everybody feels very cold. That means a merely a down of temperature by a 1 or 2, you senses the coldness. Now, when we go from 20 degrees C to 0 degrees C, 20 degrees C to 0 degrees C, please pay attention here. When we use the word cold chain, when we use the word cold from 20 to 0, and see the rate of the production of the heat has gone down from 5000 to 500. 5000 to 500. It is reduced drastically. Now, texture. Just for your academic knowledge, all the durable materials, they are very hard in their texture. If you see any grain, the material is very hard. But if you see the perishable material, any fruit, potato, tomato, onion, garlic, any material, fruits or vegetables, the skin is very soft, relatively very soft compared to durable. In some of the fruits and vegetables, even the skin may be little hard, but they are very sensitive. The tissues are sensitive for the injuries compared to the skin of the durable material. Shelf life. The shelf life of durable materials is month to years. You can keep your sorghum or wheat for a year, from few months to years. But you can preserve your tomatoes or onions or your pomegranate few days to few months. So days to months, less than a year, less than 12 months. Losses. In case of durable, the losses, the factors responsible for the cause of losses are external agents. And these are basically molds, insects, and rodents. When we use the word molds, basically they come under the microorganisms. When we see the insects and rodents, they are the external elements. Now, in case of perishables, caused by physiological factors, that is internal factors, as we discussed above, respiration, senescence, and sprouting. Senescence is a process of ripening, happens in fruits specifically, and sprouting based on the moisture, because all these perishable materials are high moist. You might have seen in onions or potatoes, after a few months, you see there are some sprouts. So this is the internal mechanism that deteriorates the product, and external agents, as in case of durables, bacteria and fungi, microorganisms. So all these differentiate them between the durable and perishable, and in between these two is a semi-perishable. Semi-perishable. Usually, all the tuber crops, tubers, and these tubers are comes under the semi-perishable. And so my question still goes on. So do we need a cold chain? If the material is non-perishable, lack of moisture to growth of microbes and enzymatic reaction, because the moisture content is lower than 15%, does not lead to spoilage much. So cold chain is not required. Is this clear? If the material is durable, we don't need any cold chain. Why? Because the moisture content of the material is very, very low, less than 15%. So microbial activity and insect activity will be low. And that's why we don't need. That's why when we handle all the durable materials, they can move in any of the kind, and we don't have to worry too much about its temperature or a moisture. Semi-perishable foods. Moderate moisture leads to growth of microbes and enzymatic action, resulting in spoilage. Need to preserve at low temperature. Need to preserve at low temperature. So do we need cold chain? Yes. Answer is because the word low temperature is there. And the here meaning of the low temperature, I already told you, after 22 you are unable to even hold your AC on your body. So 20 degree is much more lower. Temperatures in the range of 10 to 20 are called as, or generally referred as, there is no any definition, but they are called as a low temperature. Perishable foods. High moisture leads, high moisture more than 50% leads to rapid growth of microbes and increased rate of enzymatic action. More microbial activity, more enzymatic activity, resulting in more spoilage. Need of cold chain to suppress the growth of microbes and reduce the rate of enzymatic action. So do we need cold chain? Answer is yes. We need the cold chain. We need the control of temperature for both semi-perishable foods and perishable foods. Now, how the cold chain helps? Actually, food material, as I told, it is a biological material. The process of respiration continues even after its harvest. There is, being it is a biological material, it is having a moisture, temperature, everything. So action of enzymes in the material continues even after its harvesting. And being it is having a moisture, microbial activity inside the material also continues even after its harvest. Now, our goal in cold chain, our objective in the cold chain is, the first one is to reduce the losses or to reduce the spoilage. Losses is what, when you are not in a position to use that material because of some or the other reason, then it is lost. So reduce or check the spoilage. This is our first goal. And while doing this, can we extend the shelf life of material from a day to week or a week to month or month to year, whichever way possible, depending upon the type of commodity. That is our second goal. Now, how we can do this? Yes, it is possible if we adopt some tools and techniques available by studying that material with the help of temperature, with the help of relative humidity, and with the help of atmospheric composition, that is the gases surrounding that material. If we can control temperature, RH, or gases, or any one of them, you can check the spoilage of that material, and you can also extend the shelf life of that material. So handling and storage of material at cold temperature reduces the rate of respiration, prevents the action of enzymes, and prevents the growth of microorganisms. And because of these three, what is the outcome we are having? What is the result? Extends the shelf life, freshness, and longevity of the product, and retain the nutrients. It extends the shelf life, it maintains the freshness, it increases the content of the material, active ingredient, whatever it may be, longevity of that product, and or it also retain the nutrients. This will be more clear from my next slide. Temperature. Why is important? Life processes are regulated by the catalytic action of enzymes, and their activity is a temperature dependent. 2 to 4-fold increase in deterioration does occur for each 10-degree rise in temperature. For example, if you increase the temperature from 10 to 20, then there will be increase in the rate of deterioration by 2 to 4 times. If you move from 20 to 30, again it will increase. From 30 to 40, it will go on increasing in that uh, rate. The development of decay causing microorganisms is also similarly temperature dependent. Here the meaning is enzymatic action is a different thing, And microbial activity is a different thing. They are simultaneously going inside the biological material. So decay causing microorganisms is also temperature dependent. Hence, temperature is the most important determinant of fresh produce deterioration rate. So if you want to control the deterioration, if you control the temperature of any of the product, you are extending its shelf life. Take your practical example. Nowadays, the moment you get the milk in the morning, you boil it and you keep it into the freeze. What you are doing basically, from 25 degree, you are putting it to the 5 degree in a cold temperature, and you are extending its shelf life. You are checking its rate of deterioration. And the way I was telling, now see, these are the optimum storage temperature at four different levels: 0, 10, 20, and 30. And the bottom is the duration of the storage. Now here, again, I will request you, please pay little attention. Many times, the failure of the existing cold chain is because there is a missing of science and there is a missing of technology. A good process is available. Go back to my definition. Cold chain is the involvement of a science, involvement of a technology, involvement of a process. Many of the traders, professionals, they know a good process, but they may not be knowing a good technology or a good science of biological material. So here, consider fresh green vegetables, 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 week, 2 days. That means if the leafy vegetables, you can hold it for 2 days at 30 degrees C. If you go to the 0 degree C, you can extend its shelf life by 4 weeks, from 2 days to 4 weeks. Now, this depends on the type of leafy vegetable or fresh green vegetable. And that's why I'm trying to pay attention under the column food product. Though we are see there are 6 types of food products. Even there is a great variation because biological material varies, though we are classifying them under a one perishable head or a semi-perishable. The characteristics of those materials varies from one commodity to other commodity, and we need to have a good data on each commodity if we want to have a very efficient cold chain to handle that particular product. Potatoes, 5 to 10 months at 4 degrees C and 2 months at 42 degrees C. See the difference, 2 months to the 10 month. Mangoes, 2 to 3 weeks at 13 degrees C and 2 days at 43 degrees C. If you buy a mango within 2 days, you will find there are very wrinkles on the outer skin of that mango. And after that, you have to just throw it. But if you put it at 13 degrees C, 2 to 3 weeks. My friends, I just want to make you aware. I just defined the definition 10 to 20 degrees C. You see the mango 13 degrees C. If you put it at 5 degrees C, then you will find a different scenario. So you need to know the characteristics of all these biological materials because their sensitivity to the temperature varies from material to material. Apples, 3 to 6 months at minus 1 degree C, and it is only few weeks at 30 degrees C. Milk, 2 weeks at 0 degrees C, few hours at 30 degrees C. And fresh fish, few hours at 30 degrees C and only 10 days at 0 degrees C. Even if you see this column, depending upon the type of commodity, the maximum life of fresh fish which we can extend even at 0 degrees C is only 10 days. So depending upon the type of biological material, the sensitivity of the temperature and their characteristics varies. This I was thinking to impress, and I just want to say, is temperature important? Now you will also agree with me. Yes, it is very important. Now let us go to the next factor, moisture. Many times moisture is expressed in terms of relative humidity. They are very change and interchangeable. The definition of the relative humidity is what? Amount of water vapor present in the atmosphere compared to the saturation vapor pressure at that temperature for the same air. So there is always exchange of moisture or exchange of water vapor between the two material, that is the atmosphere and the material. If you open a biscuit, Parle-G or a Britannia from the wrapper, and if you keep it outside the room, after an hour or two, you will find that the crispiness of that material has lost. Why? Because the water vapor present in the atmosphere have been absorbed by that biological material and it has become soft. If you roast a papad in rainy season, and it is everybody's experience, it is not the same crispy as what we have in summer. Because of what? In the rainy season, the humidity of the atmosphere is more than 80-90%. The presence of water vapor is very, very high. And as many of you may be the students of science, and it is an engineering principle from high potential to low potential. Water from the mountain goes to the sea, high level to the low level. High humidity during storage is required to maintain produce quality and fresh weight. Now here we are talking about the perishable material. And if you remember my table, in perishable material, we were thinking that if we are having a high RH, it is desirable. It is undesirable. I'm coming to that. But when you are holding the moisture, and if you it is a low, then the material, that perishable material, is having high humidity and surrounding environment is a low humidity. So the loss of water vapor from the material will go to the surrounding and you will lose its freshness. However, high humidity and water condensation on the fruit surface also promote the pathogen growth and decay. If you have more than the required, then these problems are going to be present. You might have observed many times in the freeze, if you keep a material for a longer, then you might find even in the freeze at 5 degrees C, there is a decaying of that material, particularly leafy vegetables, and even in case of tomato or many other. Therefore, now the word is optimal. Engineers always like this word, and the economists also like this word. The optimal humidity should be evaluated specifically for each commodity and shall be maintained around it. That means neither low nor high. We need to find out what is the range and try to keep the product within that range. Then you will have the maximum output for the goal you have designed. Now, relative humidity, why important? The optimal relative humidity of the atmosphere in cold chain varies with the food stored and with the environmental factors such as temperature, composition of the atmosphere. Now, if relative humidity is too low, it goes to the top track, loss of moisture, and hence in weight, also wilting and shrinkage problem. Many of our friends may be knowing that if you buy an onion today, and if you see after a week or two, its weight is reduced. Do you know why? Loss of moisture, and that's why you are losing weight. And also wilting and shrinkage problem. If relative humidity is too high, favors the growth of spoilage microorganisms. So we need to be between this too low and too high. We need to find out what is the optimal. And this optimal will have a different for different products. We need to find out for each commodity and try to set that optimal if we want to have a good effect of RH in addition to the temperature for maintaining the freshness of the product. Now, friends, we see the importance of temperature and RH in the cold chain. I just want to take you a little further. I just did this in my first 3 slides. Now here I'm little going in detail for perishable. These are the production figures of 2018 and 19. Fruits and vegetables 310, milk 165, meat 7, fish 10, poultry broilers 4. This MMT means million metric ton. This is a new term I am nowadays finding in the form of short forms, abbreviations, and very quite convenient, million metric ton. And on the right hand side, only I have given the accurate. But when you are a listening presentation, you want to get something really deep down into your microprocessor. So forget about those decimals. Make yourself to the round numbers because easy to keep into the mind. It doesn't take much energy to keep to memorize, and it becomes easy to go further. So I just took the round numbers: 310, 165, 7, 10, 4. Now total perishables is 496. Now this is the total food material for the cold chain, which we are going to handle. Only those material we are taken, those classifications. In addition to these, there are dairy materials, there are processed materials, there will be frozen materials, but they will be processed from these. So fruits and vegetables, milk, meat, and poultry broilers. Total is 496 million tons. Round figure 500. Please keep in your mind 500. Now you have to do little calculations. While listening, you try to do the calculations in your mind, right? Now if we consider the post-harvest losses, just very, very low, 10%. So from 500 million ton, it will go to the 50. Easy? Now, the value of this 50 million tons, even if we consider a very low price of rupees 20 per kg, rupees 20 per kg, that means rupees 20,000 per ton, rupees 20,000 per ton. The value comes which we may lose on account of losses in cold chain if we are not having a nice cold chain. Rupees 1 lakh crores. 1 lakh crores. What the numbers we were having at the government of India, 92,000 crores. We have considered everything very, very low. The numbers are real and exact, and our calculations are very, very minimal. A very bottom, we called in engineering as a benchmark, very low level, so you won't have anything in your mind. Now I'm taking this figure just to make you aware why cold chain is important. If we want to save, if we want to save rupees 1 lakh crore of our nation, it is our produced by our farmers, Bali Raja. If we want to save this, and everybody of us, including myself, needs to be aware in preparing, in designing, in handling, in dealing, in doing the trading in the cold supply chain. You may be doing any role, but we need to become a serious. So cold chain supply is necessary for perishable and semi-perishable food material. Cold chain supply is necessary for perishable and semi-perishable food material. If, friends, you are very much aware that yes, our message to build up is that cold chain is necessary. So from here onwards, we will go little fast because you simply has to grasp the essence of that. This was a foundation building. So cold chain supply is the part of the food supply chain which deals with the transport, storage, distribution, and selling of frozen food. It includes equipment and the operation of that equipment to maintain frozen food in a fully frozen condition at the correct temperature. So it involves science, technology, and process. And this is a chain from the farmer, pre-coolers, cold storage, marketplace, consumer, up to the point of consumer, right from the gate of the farmer, right from the gate of the farm. We need to handle the product for a optimum temperature and its optimum moisture. These are the elements: cooling systems, cold storage, cold transport, cold processing and distribution. Cold cooling systems, like different cooling systems. Cold storage, many of you may be knowing by this time. Cold storage is just like your refrigerator, only in refrigerator temperature is between 4 to 7 degrees C. Cold storage, we are going to 0 and down. Cold transport, the reefer containers, and cold processing and distribution. Whether you are processing a product. Yesterday, do you remember our chief guest, Dr. KK Singh, used the word cryogenic grinding. Here, the meaning of cryogenic means when you are grinding that material, you are grinding at cold temperatures. You have to provide material around the grinding process. The temperature is around, cold temperature may vary from -10 to plus 5 degrees C. Benefits of cold chain. There are so many benefits. First thing is better product quality in terms of freshness and nutrition value. Second important thing is no bacteria, longer storage, better handling and hygiene practices. We can address the issue of traceability that is very much required in GAP, GMP, HACCP. Yesterday we were listening lecture. Everywhere you need to have a control over the track. Value for the money. But friend, I just want to tell, I shall not tell you only the good points, but if there is any demerit, we need to be aware of that, because then we will be knowing it and we can work on it. See, actually the cold chain is having all the good points, and only minus point it is having is it needs money at every step. If I am a medium class, middle class person, in the 60s and 70s, buying a fridge may be a very difficult task. But now today it becomes much easy. So investment. And the moment you invest, you can make more money. Though it looks like a demerit here, high fixed assets, high operating cost, high interest and opportunity cost, high managerial cost, whatever you are spending, I'm telling you, if you are a businessman, you are going to make 10 times more than that. It is guarantee. It is a guarantee, because 50 million tons is going to be waste and you are going to make money from it. And on the other hand, everybody is looking for it. On the other hand, everybody is looking for it. I mean, nobody is having the good supply of fruits and vegetables. Now, management. When the word management comes, you have to be little cautious. My Indian farmer becoming poor is some of the management tools he is not adopting. Now, I use the word Bali Raja. The Raja is a donor. So from his farm, he will give a bag full of material to anyone. But he will not do the costing of that material, how freely it has given. Whether it is a 2 kg of onion, and even if you take a 20 rupees per kg, 20 rupees he is donating, and he doesn't consider. But in the management, when you are doing a business, you are very much aware, right from purchasing the material to the selling of the material, where you are making money. So management is a very important word. And the definition of management is, in a simple term, just 3-4 words: judicial use of means to accomplish an end. If farmers want to become a rich, he needs to use Judicial use of means, all his means, judicial, to accomplish end. End is what? He wants to become rich. He has to decide. If he wants to become rich, he has to use these tools. Now, friend, I just want to tell, many times you might come across the word cold chain supply or a cold chain management. Actually, they are the synonyms. Somebody is using cold chain management, somebody is using cold chain supply, and moreover, cold chain supply is a part of supply chain management. It is a link of supply chain, one of the link where you want to handle the material which is a temperature sensitive. It is a only classification of material. Cold chain management. So plant cold chain system that takes care of storage, temperature control, effective packaging, handling and transportation. See, all these words are very important. Care of storage, care of temperature control, effective packaging, effective handling and effective transportation. All these, they are very important. And what is the goal? Quality of the produce and increasing its shelf life. And to do this, what are the things important? Cold chain segments, we need to understand them. The product, as I told, lot of time I have given on the product. And the logistics, this last one is a very important when the word management comes, if you want to make a very efficient cold chain. Now, storage, everybody, we are acquainted. The segments of the cold storage, cold chain is storage, refrigerant, transport, procurement, and transportation. We are to be very wise to handle all these four products. I told and told lot of you, what you have to remember: know and decide the values of temperature, RH, and atmospheric condition compositions to be used. This is a science. This is a science. This is a science. The one who has done experiment, he find out what is the requirement, and from that science you need to get this value. Use it in technology, use it in process, and these three together becomes a cold chain. So you have to depend on science. These are the different materials used in cold chain. I have already listed: fruits and vegetables, floriculture, meat, pharmaceutical, dairy, and ice. Except this pharmaceutical, all these belongs to our food material. Now, this is the flow chart which will tell you. This is at the farm level: harvesting, field packaging, and transportation. Then this is until transportation, like from the farm gate, material goes to the packing house, temporary storage, packing house operation, packaging, storage, sometimes it may be delayed there, then transportation. So this dark blue indicates the packing house operation, and it happens in the cold area or a room, anywhere. And then from transportation up to the consumer, it is like a cold vehicles, transportation, handling, moving, product is moving from one point to the other. Transportation could be through local, through export, air freight, sea freight. It could be retail, it could be wholesale, it could be warehouse, like depending different types of marketings. The risk of temperature. This is a general table I'm trying to tell. If you don't use the cold chain, if you don't use the cold chain from the point of harvesting, suppose harvesting takes 2 to 4 hours, you consider harvesting, infield handling, packing house, temperature storage, packing house operation, storage delay, transportation, warehouse, and retailing. If it goes to the retail, the product takes about 3 to 4 days to reach to the point of consumer. 3 to 4 days, 5 days. And it is exposed to this temperature from 40 degrees C to 20 degrees C. The temperature range is 20 to 40 degrees C. In some of the packing or pre-cooling, if it is there, some of the farmers, only you are cooling the product, but again it moves to the higher temperature if you do not have the transport under the control condition. So it is a risk. You saw the risk, what it is, because we saw the exposure to the temperature. Now, refrigerated shelf life and optimum temperature. Now, this gives as compared to the commodities, the requirement of the temperature is different, and for that temperature the shelf life will be different. For example, the bananas, this is the called as the standard temperature in the cold chain, is around 13 degrees C, and you can keep for 7 to 28 days, that means 1 to 4 weeks. Okay, but if you want to handle any seafood, minus 18 degrees C, temperature is minus 18 degrees C, and you can extend the shelf life 120 to 360 days. So depend, we need to deep freeze it, frozen it. Now RH, as we were talking about that RH, just as a thumb rule, you keep in your mind 3 to 10% of the moisture lost from that material is allowable. You can tolerate to lose about 3 to 10%, but if it increases more than that, you are losing weight, you will lose its physiological weight also, and the other rates will also be there. And if you have more, then it will create the problems for spoilage. So this is the table for safe storage temperature. As I said, no, you have to know the exact temperature and RH for that particular product you want to handle. So you have to refer science, go there, take it. So that will be correct. As a manager, you could be mechanical engineer, you could be electrical engineer, you are the chief of that supply chain. You need to know, or your persons, your professionals know to have this knowledge so that they can handle it. So the key for good management is monitor of right temperature and right RH throughout the journey of that cold chain is the key. Monitor right temperature and right RH. Logistics, this is the part of that I said. Pre-cooling facilities, cold storages, refrigerated carriers, packaging, warehousing, and information management systems. Information management system. All these are the logistics. आपल्याला सत्यनारायणाची पूजा ज्यावेळेस करायची असते, when you want to arrange any wedding ceremony, you have to organize so many things. When you organize that, that is the word that is called as the logistics. So when you are working with the cold chain, these are the different elements you have to keep in your mind. You have to work on it, organize them efficiently. So cold chain supply management is wholly dependent on the quality of the infrastructure system in place. Whatever the quality of that infrastructure you are putting, you may be thinking you want to do it good, but the quality of that infrastructure, if it's not good, it's going to hamper. Classification of cold chain, just for your academic knowledge. We are using the negative temperature, as we saw in case of seafood, they are called it as a cold chain. When it is a chilled material like below 0 degrees C, between -1 or 0 or -2 and 0 or 4 degrees C, we call it as a cold chain. Single product cold chain, multi-product cold chain, supply side cold chain, and distribution side cold chain. So what is cold chain management? Logistics plus temperature RH control is equal to cold chain logistics. Logistics plus control of temperature and RH is the cold chain logistics. Procurement, transport, storage, transport, and consumer. If you see this is a supply chain, then you might have come across the word fulcrum, seesaw फळी. एका बाजूला दोन बाजूला वजन. Cold chain is the fulcrum of effective supply chain instruction. Cold chain is the center point for the fulcrum of effective supply chain infrastructures. Just I am now going to cover this scenario hurriedly because you can get this material from anything. My first part was to build something in your mind, to take out these things from your any literature, but I am trying to create awareness. Now, what is the scenario in the country? Now, I just want to tell about my country and your country. When we take the name of India, it's synonymous with agriculture. It's synonymous with agriculture. And we say that if there is no good monsoon, then the economy of the country is in a dwindled situation. No matter how many vehicles, computers, or whatever you are having. And you are knowing, because of Corona, COVID-19, only one thing was unable to work in microprocessor. Nobody says stop it. And that is food. That is food. Food comes from agriculture. That's why India's economy is a backbone. 18% of India's gross domestic product is from agriculture, and 50% of the workforce of the country is working in agriculture. That's why if agriculture gets crumbled, economy of the country gets crumbled. Rank second, like these figures, rank second in the farm output, selected staples, spices, fibrous crops, seeds, fruits, vegetables, and other agriculture products. And only fruits and vegetables is 1/5 of this, 20%. And fruits and vegetables require cold chain. In addition to the marine products, poultry, dairy. The diverse agroclimatic conditions, adequate availability of resources, and technological advancements. Though many times we are talking negative about our technologies, but see, we are the number 2 in the world as far as the scientific uh, strength is concerned. So don't underestimate ourselves. Only there is a mismanagement. We are not peeping and we are not in a position to put the right people at the right place. So it is a failure of management. The diverse agroclimatic conditions, adequate availability of resources, and technological advancements with packaging practices give us an edge over many nations, including China. China is our competitor. Including China, we can compete to anyone as far as agriculture is concerned. Opportunities, friends, I just want to say uh, we are losing 40% as per the records. They say that 60% of the material we are producing going is available for our stomachs and 40% is going waste. So if we can convert these our shortcomings, this is opportunity. Why India could able to give its drug to America and America was compelling us. That is opportunity. You could able to make, because we are in a position to have it, its value has gone up and we could able to give it to so many countries. So this will help us. If we convert this shortcoming into opportunity, sufficient food for the population, surplus for trade, more money, more opportunities, more innovation, and we can control the inflation. So Indian coal chain industry emerging as industry. This is not I am saying. These are all the business people like CII, Confederation of Indian Industries, and the USA and all other countries. They are saying Indian coal chain industry is an emerging industry. And cold chain is a rupees 60,000 crore industry in India and is growing at 20%. The rate of increasing is 20%, much more higher than any other, much more higher than any other. So anybody of who are listening, here you are having opportunity. You can choose the role which you want, but the future is in this industry. You don't have to go to any palmist whether you want to choose this as a career. This is a scenario. This is little minus point, because if you go to the doctor, you have to understand yourself where I am lacking so that you can work on it. So we are having 6,300 cold stores. 36% are of only 1,000 million tons. 60% are only in UP and West Bengal, and only 11% of that we could able to use for all other products. And country is in a lack of these to meet all our fruits and vegetables. This is just distribution. See, most of them we are using for potato, and for others it is a very, very low, because this we built in these very old 70s, 80s, 90s, in the last 10 years, we could able to convert or change them or manipulate them or increase them in the numbers. Now see the planning. In 2009, we found that we have spent lot on the cold storages. However, pack house, reefer transport, and the ripening units are also the part of cold chain, on which the investment is very, very low. See, this is required shortfall. Almost 100% is required, 85% is required, and 90% is required. For the pack house, we need 100%. For the reefer transport, we require 85%, and for the ripening units, we require 90%. So now the government is paying attention to do the modification on this. And this, I'm not saying, the government of India has formed a NCCD in the 2011, and they put the survey study, and they come with this conclusion in 2015 that while planning we just did some injustice. So the National Center of Cold Chain Development, a government organization, has suggested that too much money is being spent on cold storages. Now, these are the infrastructures, as I said: cold chains, cold chain network, refrigerated transport, packaging, material and specific type, technologies, R&D according to the product requirement. When I say technologies here, everything, temperature, RH of that material, and to control that, whatever the technology is required, equipment suited, education and training. It's not only that you may be knowing the number on the Google, but the education and training to control that, to use that. Farmer and producer, size of land holding, we can't change this, but we can design technologies to make more from that. Inputs, procurement and management, education, knowledge of latest tools and techniques to those farmers. Now many of the farmers, for a particular commodity, they are adopting those techniques and getting ourselves, but see the population of the country, and are all the farmers are really aware of this? We need to provide education. It is not only universities, all the elements of the supply chain, those who are handling those elements, whether it is a farmer or a truck or transporter or a driver, we need to provide them education and training. Quality education about its importance and value, we need to tell. Don't spit anywhere, coronavirus, there will be fine. Standards, guidelines, and product tracking and tracing. We need to work on these quality factors. Financial issues, prices and transparencies. Many times, government also gives lot of allocation in the budget, and it comes through us through the different in a pipeline, and there are so many elements. They need to have a patriotism for their country. The moment the word I use the patriotism, then the word transparency will come. You will have a good control over the prices. You will know that what I try to indicate. Availability of funds and procedures, clumsy procedures, very, very clumsy procedures. You might have seen in Corona COVID-19 that when they have started to take the people from one point to the other, our friend laborers, all the laborers are getting one place because there is a gap in communication because of the management, not the right type of communication. They are not use the right kind of tools and techniques. I'm not blaming them. It is like in that process, everybody has to work on it and communicate it, convey it. Even if any one links fail there, the process will interrupt it. Then policies stringent many times, we need to make them user friendly. See, transport facilities, they are very desirable. High share of single commodity. Now the present situation, they are only available for potatoes, and how about others? No. High initial investment, I agree. Refrigeration equipment, because if you want to work on temperature, you have to pay more. Lack of adequate infrastructures, which is it roads, water supply. For example, if you are growing a nice okra in any remote place and it has to go to the UK, It has to come from so many places, the hurdles, and we can't do that in a day, but one has to keep these factors in their policies and make them as far as possible, as quick as possible, as soon as possible, like high priority, just like a hotline. Lack of awareness about handling temperature sensitive goods by all stakeholders. When I use the word here, stakeholders means all the different persons who are handling that cold chain. He could be a truck driver, he could be a supervisor, he could be a owner manager, anyone who is concerned with that cold chain. We need to bring awareness that that is a small baby, please handle with care. Education is a specific area limited only to some major cities in India. Like, though these things are available now, but it is in the some few towns. Now it is not reaching up to the farm gate point. But these are the positive finds, what the industry is telling. Drivers for the cold chain, that is, it is getting organized. It is getting shifting to the horticulture. It is also getting shifted for the processed food. Now there is a good demand for pharmaceutical, changing consumption pattern, and there is a good awareness about the health and quality among the consumers. These are the drivers which is making 20% growth rate for the cold chain. Government is also very positive. They have formed this National Center for Cold Chain Development in the year 2011. Now it is coming up very, very big way. And the activities are training and capacity, research and development, building standards, in interactions with national, international bodies. It is coming good way. The signs are positive, I'm telling. 100% FDI, everything is coming. 135 cold chain projects, 40 mega parks, 7,000 crores last year in the form of tax benefits, technical training subsidies. YEVO API is a special scheme. Please go on the Google. You can find out cold chain scheme, and this is available for all these. Please go through the guidelines. These are the emerging trends coming for these cold chain. In that, modern pack houses, ripening facilities, farm gate or source point for cold storage, energy efficient technology and new storage technologies. It is available, coming up in a big way. Everybody is adopting it, but the rate of adoption is low. That perishable material cannot depend if it is coming in a week. They need immediate. Understand, ambulance is required immediately. If it is coming a day or two, you might have seen even a COVID patient, just from heart beating rate goes to the heart closing. Urgent need is adequate cold chain infrastructures. Cold chain infrastructures, not the cold storages. Network of modern multi-chamber cold storages throughout the country. Modern, not for one particular commodity. Network of gold transportation of infrastructures for commodities requiring temperatures ranging from -30 to +25. We need to have a temperature specific transport vehicle. I know at the moment it is a very expensive, but the technologies are available depending on the kind of insulation material using. Insulation material is also available in the market. You have to only go for design. Our friends, mechanical engineers, and from the air condition and cold chain, if they come along with the scientists and technologies of the biological material handling people, we can design a good and we can develop the best transport vehicle suiting to the commodity. And we need to work on safety, global standards of quality, enhance efficiency, and investments need to be foundation on which our cold chains. We need to have a very strong foundation on this, and nobody can challenge our product in the world. The initials, complete guidelines for commodity specific transportation and storage requirements. A scientist has to work on it, technologist has to work on it, and the policies makers come with this and take it. manufacturing standards, certifications, and rating of insulated reefer boxes. Yesterday, I saw that many of the participants, they were asking a lot of good questions in the area of herbal and nanotechnologies. So one has to develop these standards. We don't have ready at the moment. The moment the problem comes, we are developing these standards. Why don't we keep these things in mind and develop it ahead of the situation? So manufacturing of standards, certifications, and rating of insulated reefer boxes, we have to work on it. Formulation of master plans necessary to link the commodity clusters, storage, like whatever the commodity of that area is a good. Why don't we ask them to go for that? Plan it, connect it, and the best cold chain will be there. And the good examples for these are the Thailand, Malaysia, and many other these our South Asian countries. They are doing much better than or the Mexico or Brazil. We can learn some of the things. We can take the good points of those things and adopt it. Now I just want to aware you about the word smart. There are so many smart things like the Zoom, which is a smart. COVID-19 could able to get ourselves converted to the Zoom, and everybody is now it is using the Zoom. So in the same way for cold chain also, there are so many smart tools. Deployment of sensors, temperature and humidity, they are available in the market. Make them enable and use for our integrity. Adoption of technology, real-time visibility. I'm just giving you one example. What happens when the word we are using transparencies? Suppose you have put a good grapes from Nasik or Sangli and it is going all the way to the Mumbai, or from Mumbai it is going to somewhere. Now in this transport, many times to save the diesel, that truck driver changes the temperature. The moment you change the temperature, the quality of that product will get affected. And owner may not be knowing. They can go for this real-time visibility, the technique, smart technique, where you can control the things like smart technique in agriculture. You can control your pump with the help of your mobile. Adoption of technology, adoption of smart tools and techniques for our cold chain is the smart use. Warehouse automation, use of temperature sensors and GPS to self-reporting alerts of the produce at every minute of the day. This is useful for manager and owner, the one who is controller. Highly equipped vans are available that can allow monitoring the temperature, location, humidity, and speed of the van in real time. It is available. We need to take it. And for that, the good collaboration between science, technology, and process. That is cold chain. Advanced tackling abilities will enable companies to receive advance warning. Sometimes for our tackling these NISAR, advance warnings, and we could able to do the things ahead of time. So with the help of smart tools, we can get the warnings and we can use those warnings for tackling those issues ahead of the time, and we can save the calamity. These are the top key players just for your academic knowledge. I'm telling Snowman, Sensitech, Carriers, Glacio, Gati Kausar, RK Foodland, Everest Cold Storages, Adani AgriFresh, Cold Star, Transep, Spire, or Concord. And my desire is among these, Dr. Kurd has given so much chance to so many people to attend these participants. I will be so happy, and with me, MPKV Rauri will also be happy, and the country will be happy if anyone could add their name in these key players country wants to have. We look to see that anyone could be there in these top players. These are the logos of their top 12s. I just want to take a minute. Cursor, I'm about to finish. This is the important story. Now, success story. Like many times we are talking about so many things. This is happening. This is happening. No, everything is available. This is a UK company, a great example of state-of-the-art cold storage where customers can store. Here, the customer could be farmer. Customers can store food items even at a varying loads. Now, many of the large cold storage, they ask that quantity, otherwise they refuse. So, varying loads and ensure high quality food safety and minimal food loss. Safety on one hand, loss on the other hand. From farm to consumer is, I'm not advertising this company. I saw on the name, this is one of the company who is having 100% success. Roshan Frozen and Cold Storage located at Sonipat in Haryana, India. This cold storage provides frozen storage of fresh and processed foods and caters to the Delhi NCR and northern India. Again, fortunately, it is very close to Kopitar. I will be happy if someone like this comes to our southern India, particularly Maharashtra, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, or Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, where the produce of this perishable material relatively is much more higher. Built using Danfoss technologies, it is the first cold storage in India built to European standards. The moment European standard is there, yesterday you were using a lot of lectures. For your knowledge, I am telling the most stringent standards on this earth is of European. US is not that stringent, Japanese are not that stringent, Australians or the all others are not that stringent. Europeans and in Europeans, the Britishers, they are very stringent about the standards. And if we use that technology to maintain the quality, you forget that your product will flow so much easily into that market, you can make money. So cold chain involves handling, storage, and transportation. Of which material? Which material? Please, at least for a day, remember this word, temperature sensitive. Temperature sensitive. And the synonym of temperature sensitive is cold chain. Temperature sensitive on one hand, cold chain on the other hand. If you want to handle anyone who is temperature sensitive, use ice. Make him cool, everything will be good. The cold chain involves biological science and engineering to arrive at an appropriate handling and storage solutions suited to a given product. Essential in supply chain of products from farm to door in order to extend the shelf life of food material. And here the meaning of the door means the door of our house, the one who wants to use it. The country is having such a beautiful country. Many times we blame because everybody of us just think for a good, think for positive, and you can rule. Rule is not a good word, but you can help the entire universe, entire human being, and the entire all the other living beings of this planet. Monitor of right temperature and right RH is the key. I know that initial investment is very high, but where there is a high, there is a opportunity to make the money. Where there is high, there is opportunity to make more money. And listen this word, cold chain is a recession free. Recession free. There won't be any recession with time T. Recession free industry and emerging business to make you more money. This provides opportunity to make you more wealthy and healthy. Smart application of tools and available techniques of automation and controls need to be adopted. Though I use the word shall, I will change it, need to be adopted to make the most efficient cold chain of the world, so that USA shall come to us and take our cold chain to handle their products. This is my dream. There is a great scope. Everyone, the one who produces, the one who listens, the one who plays his engines, and the one who takes through truck or anyone are having a great great scope. They move from durable material to perishable food material. Both are in agriculture, but I'm saying from durable food material to the perishable food material. So I want to extend thanks. I'm little sorry because I was feeling to give you more and it was taking little more time, but I hope you will bear with me. I didn't bore. I hope I didn't bore you much because it was a flow which was coming and I was thinking, and at many places I was just making little hurry because I was also looking to the watch, and I am sure that many of things which might not have covered, or the things which I was telling you, your browser is getting blocked. What about this? How I can do this? So this is time to bring out your questions.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Your presentation is excellent one, informative and more practical, and that one is really useful to the participant in their future life. Then we'll take one by one question, sir.
Sure.
What's this up?
Yes.
Sir, questions
First,
are so many. We'll take a few ones, sir.
Sure.
yeah.
What I'm saying, if you can send me the questions, even if not today, definitely I will try to reply the answers either through you or direct to you, the whichever way you want, or you get the answer, then you can send them, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Only for representation, we will take 4 to 5 questions, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So, Miss Hiral Jani, I have unmuted you. Yes,
Hello,
please
sir.
ask your-
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Sir, I just wanted to ask that can garlic be stored in a cold storage effectively?
Can we also put the question on the chat because the voice is not clear? Please repeat the question.
Can garlic be stored effectively in cold storage, sir?
Yeah.
Can we store the garlic effectively in cold storage?
Sure. Yes, we can. See, what you have to, from my lecture, what we said, see, immediately I said yes. Because being I am a scientist, I said yes. If somebody else here, a technologist or engineer, he will say, ma'am, I will find out and then I will let you know. What my essence to you is, see, if we find out the temperature and RH of that person, because RH, we need to find out and store at that temperature. Understand? And we need to do the R&D for
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Next question from Gunjan Sandhya. I have unmuted you. Please ask your question. Gunjan Sandhya.
Please go ahead. I'm listening.
Next.
Okay. Next from Mangade Kiran.
Sir, very informative lecture, and from since beginning to end, I am with hearing your lecture. Very good lecture was the. I am agriculture engineer from EMPKV Rauri, and now presently working as agriculture officer in state agriculture department. Now my question is. Can we what are the requirements for the storage of the powder or liquid form of the medicinal plant if processing is done up to 1 year? Can we store it?
Yeah. Actually, I'm so much thank you for you for putting this question. Though it doesn't belongs to the cold chain, but I'm telling you based on my working in this field for so many 38 years. See, the moment you take out the moisture from any material, okay? If you take out the moisture from any material, the shelf life of that material is increased from months to years. For example, take your milk powder, okay? It is just I'm trying to answer your question. Now, what happens depending upon taking out the moisture from any medicinal or the herbal material? Your next question is what kind of packaging material you are providing to that?
Okay.
Because if you want to preserve it, like your dream is, if you want to make the storage life for a few months, any simple packaging material will be good. If you want to
Yes, yes.
increase the shelf life from months to maybe 6 months or 9 months, or it is moving from one place to the other, you have to
Yes.
work about the surrounding. And here, when I say again surrounding, the surrounding here is, there are three. If you see my lecture, I'm always talking about temperature, RH, and gases. And here the gases
Okay.
means O2 or CO2. The moment you
CO2.
put the barrier in between the material and the atmosphere, the life of that material changes. Understand?
Okay.
And if
Okay,
you
sir.
want to know more details, you can contact me. Maybe we can give more time on that.
Sir, second question is my if any farmer want to raw process of the pomegranate rind powder, then what are the requirement, or what is the storage requirement, so that he can store it if market is not there? So he can store at his home or anywhere, where up to 1 year or a few months.
Again, I will say it is a good question. Only in your question, I didn't understand. The one who is wants to do it, he knows how to make powder, and you want to preserve the powder, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you anybody, the one who are listening, the moment you make a powder,
yes,
and the shelf life of that material for sure is increased many more months. If any product is giving any problem, I am taking this platform as a challenge, because my name is Dr. Thakor. So I will extend its shelf life.
Okay.
Sure, for sure.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you very much for Kad sir and all organizing team.
Okay, thank you, sir. Next question from Dinesh Rajab. I have unmuted you. Please ask your question.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Next from Santosh Lalwani.
Hello, sir.
Santosh Lalwani. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah. Ask your question.
Sir, it was a very nice and informative lecture. Thanks for that. The thing I want to ask. The thing which I want to ask is, sir, since the initial investments are high in a cold storage, what is the minimum size of cold storage we can design for self-help groups of farmers, those kind of things? And what is the kind of environment impact of the cold storages, the greenhouse emissions? If you can throw some light on that.
First question is what? What is the infrastructure cost required for cold storage?
The minimum size, like for considering the self-help groups of farmers, of 5 to 10 farmers, or such kind of things, the minimum size of cold storage, what we can go for in a minimal cost, what kind of a design can be there, if it is possible?
I'm trying to give answer. I just want to know, basically you are a farmer, or what qualification you are, background?
Sir, basically I'm an entrepreneur. My entire career I've been an entrepreneur, and I've been into entrepreneurs organization. And
I just want to know your qualification.
I'm an engineer and a management student.
Good. Actually, I was interested in that. See, I'm so happy for this question. Actually, when I say as an engineer, I am an agriculture engineer, I am a biological engineer, and more specific, I am a food process engineer. And right, besides these are the different shirts, but basically I am a farmer. Basically I am a farmer.
That's great.
And
that's great.
I want to know, I want to develop, I want to work for any small farmer. If the person is having only 100 kgs of onion or potato, can we help him? Can we help him? And that shall be the policy of government of India, actually. But it becomes difficult. As an engineer, you know that when we go on such a very low scale, it becomes difficult. See, you can make a mobile of 1,500 rupees, but this country, they are not making anything which is suitable for any small farmer of 1 to 5 acres. and that is a pity. But yes, now I am positive on your side. See, there are tools and techniques available. One has to work. For example, there are ready-made these insulating materials are available. There is a very good company in Baroda. They can provide you any kind of insulating material to control any temperature. Okay, so for design we can have that. Okay, you decide the space. I saw there in one of the exhibition, the students from IIT, they designed a cold storage unit, a mobile van using solar panels.
Okay.
No electricity. I mean, I'm seeing mobile van.
Okay.
And my dream, I'm helping you, or if you can do that, I can help you. If we can have that, you know, that Mahindra pickup.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
The smallest one, or the Hathi from this Maruti.
Tata. Yeah.
Tata.
Yeah.
You don't have to design vehicle or anything. Take the available, and based on that, can we do the changes?
Great, sir. Great.
Yeah, it is possible, but you young people need to come. You try to select the problem while doing your bachelor's or master's, the problem specific, and many times supervisor is also not ready. He need to be positive. So if we all come together, it is everything possible. I'm very much sure about it based on my experience.
Fantastic, sir. Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. I'm into solar power business, sir. So you have given a great idea. I will be in touch with you.
Sure, we can do it.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, sir. There are so many questions actually. It is around 100, sir. Yeah, in chat box. So, sir, we will save that questions and mail you after this session, and we will take all the answers from the experts. We'll try to get that answers. And definitely, sir, sir, I have shared his contact details, so you can directly ask to sir at his email your queries, and we will also providing all the questions which were asked by participants to Thakor sir, so they will be able to give you answer. Okay.
Can I take 1 minute? 1 minute.
Yes, sir, sure.
To all the participants from my side, it is a see, don't get held up in the process of your journey to achieve something. And if you want to get anything in the area of food material, I'm just extending my email ID and my number. Try to contact me on phone less and try to do correspondence more on mail, and you can give your reference like, sir, I have attended this lecture and I have these queries or doubt, and doubt may not be directly to you, but we together can help someone of your friend. He has an issue, he doesn't know me, but you know me, so you can bring that issue to me. If we can work together, we can help this nation. And believe me, ये जो भारत है, ये सबका भरण पोषण करता है. हम लोगों की वजह से ये रुका हुआ है. हम लोग सही सोच नहीं करते, राइट डायरेक्शन में नहीं जाते. कोई भी व्हाट्सएप पे गलत मैसेज आ जाता है तो उस पे अपना जो दिमाग है लगा देते हैं. डोंट वेस्ट योर एनर्जी इन द बैड. Just put it on the right for yourself, for your health, and for the well-being of nation. When you build your nation, you are building the earth and everyone on this earth. This is my thinking. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for your very informative lecture on cold chain management. And you have desired that apart from that 12 key players, the 13 must be from MPK Virauri. So hope our participant will be completing that your dream in next upcoming year.
Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you.
Definitely they are going to do, sir. And for the people like you, they are inspire us to do this kind of things. Thank you, sir. Now I request Miss Priyanka Korgaonkar, who is IIT MTech student from IIT Guwahati, to present vote of thanks.
Good morning, sir. Am I audible to all of you?
Good morning. Good morning. Pehchani आवाज लग रही.
Honorable Dr. N.J. Thakor, sir, other dignitaries and participants, I feel blessed to have this opportunity to propose vote of thanks to Dr. N.J. Thakor, sir, Myself, Priyanka Korgaonkar. I am IIT Guwahati student and currently pursuing my Masters in Food Science and Technology. On behalf of organizing team and all other participants, I would like to thank Dr. N.J. Thakor sir for sharing his knowledge and findings with us today and making us aware of cold chain management system and its importance in the food industry. As I did my bachelor's in BTech Agri from KKV Dapoli, I have this privilege of knowing Thakor sir personally, and today I am feeling really nostalgic after listening to his lecture after 4 long years. Thakor sir is a man of principle and values. He taught us that the his presence used to make us feel more and more energetic every time. Even after his retirement, he motivated us and encouraged us to be better than before. Thank you so much, sir, for being there always for all of us. And at last, I would like to extend my gratitude to MPKV Rahuri for creating such an amazing platform. I feel deeply gratitude and thank you all of you. Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks, Priyanka. Very nice to see you, and I just want to tell all other participants, Priyanka is a very, very active and ambitious girl, and one day she's going to at the top. My best wishes to you, Priyanka. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Might be she will be having 13 key player of that cold chain management.
Yeah, definitely.
We hope so. Because of she's your student, sir. We hope that most of the students can achieve the highest success. And wish you all the best. Sir, can we stop here?
Yes.
Yes, with the permission of expert and organizing secretary, we will stop here.
Today's
And,
afternoon session.
yes.
Announce that.
Yeah. Please join at 3:40 p.m. today for today's second session. Okay. So thank you so much for joining and listening a good lecture. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you.